Hi everyone, as promised, here's the Craftscope Back to Basics Part 2. It's going to have to be a really quick one because I think the camera's just about to run out of power. So here we go, I've got everything ready. So as before, I've got an 8x8 card blank. I've put the moon in already. The Trisky Decadon background. Now I'm going to start with some of the hills. Mountain, so I'm placing my copier paper ripped exactly the same as before. I've got my blender brushes now, so here I'm going to use one for my blue, one for my green, and then I'm going to use a little bit of yellow that's already on the brush for the sun afterwards. So I'm using Mowed Lawn. You just brush lightly across your pad, take the excess off, and then gently brush side to side. Again, we've got the edge here, which I will go over afterwards, or actually I might as well do it now while we're talking about it. Just going to tint that just again for a faux edge to your card, you know, to save on the matting layering. You know, you don't always have to mat and layer, just sweeping straight across that card to give us our hills and our landscape. This is a much more subtle look, a great way for, if you're new to this sort of thing, new to landscaping, then it is a really nice way of trying it. If you pinch your brush like this, you can go in and deepen the very edges, or you could use a makeup sponge also, or even the very fine tip of your smoothie. As I say, this is a much easier form of blending with these stencil brushes from Clarity. They're really very good. I've had them for a long time, but I didn't actually start using them until quite recently, and now I'm thinking I wish I'd have used them years ago. Right, so just peeling that mask off, and now I'm going to replace it. I'm going to replace it so that the landscape's slightly different. We don't want to just move it up, we want to angle it a bit because it gives you a picture a lot more, it looks a lot more realistic. So just inking up the brush, just remember to take a little bit of the excess off, and again brush from side to side. Now this is a great thing that's happened. You know, I always say when you've finished your work to get your cloth and wipe it off. This is the effect you get if you leave that on, because I've put temporary adhesive on here. So what the ideal way of doing it is maybe work from the bottom down, but usually what I do is I wipe the card each time I move up, which I forgot to do, but I just give it a quick wipe. It's too late on this one, but it has given us a bit of texture, so it's not disastrous. So just bring that across, peel that off, and that gives us our next layer. Again, just changing it slightly, so this will give us more of a light hill over this side. I'm going to just do this now quickly. I'm sorry I'm rushing, it's just I'm really concerned that the camera's going to run out of power and we're not going to get the whole demo in. Just take off the excess and then brush across again, just lightly. And this is just another completely different look. It's exactly the same landscape, but it's a completely different look giving with the blender brushes, the stencil brushes, sorry. Peel that off, and obviously it's an awful lot quicker. Now I'm going to finish that for the landscape. Now I'm going to put a couple of mountains in at the back, again with the green, and then probably go over a little bit with a deeper colour. Maybe just go over it with the blue afterwards, just because we want some sort of definition between the grassy landscape and the hilly landscape. You can see again I've put the texture in there, I haven't wiped it, so it's picking up where the glue is, or the temporary adhesive glue. So now I'm going to go in with the I think I'm going to go in with the tumbled glass this time. I think last time we used the salty ocean. Now you want to take quite a lot of this blue off first, because this is just going to deepen the hills in. just a slight difference with the hill there. There we are. So that's all I'm going to do for the hills. And now we want to go in with the sky. Now, with the sky we do need to take off this glue first, because although we don't mind it being a little bit patchy, we don't want too much texture. At the top we want to get the image of clouds. There we are. We take this off as well. You see where you've got the green here and then you've got the lighter colour here, which really gives depth. You know, it really pushes those other hills forward, so it looks like you're walking into the picture. Gives you a really nice effect. I'm going to go back with the salty ocean for the sky, using a bigger brush because we've got a bigger area to cover. Just ink up the brush. And let's get a bit of copy of paper just to take off a little bit of the excess. And then starting at the top, if you hold the brush further along, you're putting a lot less ink on the page. So start off your page, then we're colouring the edge to give us our faux matte, and then just gradually bring it into the scene. By doing this sweeping motion, you find that you get more ink either side, which gives you a nice sort of a curved look, if you like. And then just towards the bottom we want to get less and less colour in. Just give a little bit more of the colour through the top. Take a little bit of the colour off. And then just move down a little bit just to add a deeper colour through the top there. And you can see that there's quite a lot of texture, so I haven't really wiped enough of that off with the glue. Again, what I'm doing now is I'm putting the ink more at the sides, you know, this side and this side, so that we can keep the lighter area which we'd get from the sun. We've got enough colour. If you turn this up, let me just show you. You're getting a build-up of colour this side. This is because you're automatically wiping that side, getting a lot of colour. So to even it up, we want to do the same on the other side. You'll never get quite as much this side because you've got the fold of the card that side. And then we just turn it back around again. Now that's all I'd do for that. So we're going to peel off, no, we're going to leave that on first. We're going to peel off the mask to reveal our sun. And I'm just going to take away that glue. Now I'm not putting any ink on here at all, it's just what's on there. And I'm just going to go like that just to give it gives a hazy look around the sun, but it gives you your colour through there. Got a cat in here now. So that will give you your hazy look round the sun. Which is really nice, and then it gives you the illusion of the sun in the white space. Now this time we'll use something different for the trees. I'm going to use my the stamps that I made from my dies. These are the retro leaves. I love these. As you probably know, I use them quite a lot. So I've just stamped this one up with some Versaclair, and I'm just going to position it just slightly over that sun there. So I think that looks really nice. I know it's not a realistic tree, but you know, it's nice to have something different sometimes. Have one slightly off, and I might go for a larger tree just at the front. But you know, you could, if you wanted to, you could use your realistic trees, which would look great. There we are. I love this one. This is fantastic. I know a lot of you were saying, I had quite a few people message me asking for these to be in stamps. So I've got a stamp sheet that I'm going to hopefully bring in August. I've done different sizes of these because obviously for people that don't mind making stamps, I thought it's pointless having exactly the same ones. So I've done that. I've added a few more, and I've added some really nice extras to the stamp set as well, which are really nice. So I'm quite looking forward to bringing those. I can't promise them in August, but I'm hoping that they'll be here in August. I'm just going to peel this off. Just our reveal. Oh look, I've got ink everywhere. You see, I'm so messy. I'm sure a lot of you have just been watching Leonie. I've done exactly the same. I did the first bit of the show with her, with the craft along, and then I came in to do this. So once I've coloured in my image, I'll share that as well. I'm just going to take this off. Normally I'd wait for the ink to dry because you can smudge it, especially if I was using the smoothies, because it does saturate the card. This doesn't saturate it quite as much, so there's not so much pressure to leave it to dry. So that is the finished piece. You can see it's a lot more subtle than the one I did earlier with the smoothies, but you know, just as effective, just a completely different look, but still a landscape, which is quite nice. I just wanted to show you a couple of different ones while I was doing it. And then you've got a really nice foam mat and lay around there. Again, you could go around with your ink pen, your fine liner. If you wanted to highlight that, maybe go around with some stitching, or you know, add a nice sentiment to that as well. Finish that off. You could actually, if you replaced this, you could do, in one of my videos I've shown how to get a 3D look. So if you slightly offset that and then go in with something like Hickory Smoke, you can really push that off the page, which is really good. So that's that. So how are we doing for power? I think we've got a little bit of more power. So what I wanted to do, we've still got the offer till this evening on my first set of stencils. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time just to quickly run through this, go through my journal, see if I can show it to you. This is all done with the stencils. This is just stencil on denim done with some rust powder. This is my pink pig journal, which I love. This I've just used some texture paste, brayer, lovely dictionary background, going on with the brayer through that just to give a bit more colour. I mean, it's quite a subtle look, that. Here we've got, I've used glue gun here and then just poured that down. That's real great fun, that is. This one I've just, this was inked up the stencil, and then I've just fed it through the embossing folder and then let the embossing folder do the work. It's left these parts plain and then really spread that ink throughout, which is really good. This one I just traced the stencil. I did a really nice background with the jelly plate,